as a fail for myself there too. Okay, I needed to put on a couple of things I did not do, and I need to click that. I apologize, everybody. I am not the technician that I should be. We're working on that. Sorry, Lucy, I didn't mean to move the train of thought. And so, how many people on your team?
There's 10 of us total.
10 total. And you do mostly listings, or how does that work?
I'm a listing agent, and I manage also.
Got it. And when you say 10 people on your team, how many of those are salespeople and how many of those are staff?
Yeah, there's 2 of us that list all the properties. There's 3 buyer agents. We have a listing manager, closing manager, and a front desk person. And we do have a part-time person that comes in 10 to 2 every day and calls our past clients to help us get through them quarterly.
Okay, very cool. All right. And most of your business, past client and sphere, are you still doing expireds and for sale by owners? What's your business mix?
It is affiliates, past client referrals. Those are the main ones. We don't do very many FSBOs and expireds.
Okay.
We try. That's a bad thing to say. We try.
Yeah. So a lot of past client and sphere, correct?
62%.
62% past client and sphere. And how many buyer deals? I'm sorry, I missed that. Out of the 222.
Yeah. So let's see. That was buyer deals would be about 35 to 40% of those. 70, I think it was 75 or 80 buyer deals out of the 222.
And then you and who's the other listing agent? Is that your son?
Yeah, my son, Justin. Yep.
Got it. How long's he been in the business?
15 years now.
All right. Very cool. Yep. Very, very cool.
He helps as well. He manages more of the tech stuff. I manage more of the people stuff.
Okay.
Conquer and divide.
Very, very cool. So January and February were still decent months for you in Michigan. I don't know. Is that cold months? Is that busy, not busy? How's that traditionally work for you?
It's cold, but the inventory is low. So January, February were good months, and March started out really, really good. And then, the pandemic. But so January, February were good, and I find that our January, February gusto, whatever you call it, is accumulation effect. Really, is a result of like October, November. Did we stay on task and make the calls? October, November, December. And if we don't have some pendings coming into January where, we just don't have that excitement. You're not making money. You're not real excited about anything.
Yeah, that's true. So October, November, December. So let me ask you, do you focus October, November, December and try to run through the finish line? Is that the concept of your group?
Well, we do. Our goal is 30 transactions on the board per month, 30 accepted offers per month. And so that's our goal. Sometimes we, probably 2 to 4 months a year, we go over that. And the other months were somewhere between 15 and 25. So that's really our focus, is to get to 30. We have a countdown on our board, 30, 29, 28, 27. It's the countdown theory, which works pretty good. We all get excited when we get down to 2. And if we go over by 10, there's an extra bonus. So if we make our 30, there's a reward day, which is whatever they choose. Sometimes it's a spa day, sometimes it's lunch, dinner. And they all get $100, $150 cash in an envelope.
If it goes 10 over.
No, if we go to 30, if we get to 30.
If you hit 30, they each get $150 cash to do whatever they want.
Yep. And a reward day. We go do something special together. Yeah.
Very cool.
If we go 10 over, we can go to like any restaurant they choose anywhere. I mean, we don't fly away, but we go to really expensive places. So
very cool.
Yep.
What's the average sales price you're in Flushing, am I correct?
Flushing, Michigan. Yeah, our average sales price is $175 for us. Our area average sales price is $140.
Interesting. So Lucy, when we got together and we were working together originally, what was your average sales price then? What was that? 20
Probably
years ago?
110, probably 110, 100. Yeah,
Okay.
it was just over 100 for a long time.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. So 200 deals at $140,000 grosses you about what?
I'm about 1,000,001, 1,000,002,
Got it. And you've been earning in excess of $1 million a year for how long?
7 or 8 years.
Got it. Okay. And I wanted to ask you, so do you actually still prospect on a regular basis?
Yes, I do. So my business plan says 20 new calls a day, plus, follow-ups and stuff, but 20 new calls a day. It's been more difficult in the last couple of months to get to that because we're all working from home. It seems a little complicated, chaotic. So right now my goal is 10. If I could just get to 10, and we're
And,
getting
and you
business.
do that, and you're doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
So in your state, you weren't considered an essential, real estate wasn't considered an essential service, correct?
It was that.
Right. So what did that mean? What could you and couldn't you do?
So we could not show a property. We couldn't put up a new sign. We could not meet people personally. Everything had to be on the phone, Zoom. Um, we just weren't allowed. We weren't allowed in the office. So we all went home. We got notified about 11 o'clock one Monday morning that we all had to be closed up by midnight. And so
I think that was the 16th of March, wasn't it?
yeah, we really scrambled. We ordered printers for people at home and all that stuff. And, you really learn who who you think is technical in the office and who really is not. You learn things. But anyway, they're all set up now, but we were allowed to start showing homes again or showing up and personally 10 days ago. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
But the shelter at home is still in place. We're supposed to work remotely if at all possible. And I think that comes off on June 12th, June 14 or the 12th.
Okay. So what challenges did you run into mentally with that? I mean, on June 15th, on June 14th, you were rocking and rolling. You were having a phenomenal March. Things were, the train was running off the rails, and then boop,
Yeah.
everything came to a stop.
Yeah.
Had to shift gears.
Yeah.
Then so how did you deal with that mentally?
First it seemed like it was just going to be a little while, and then you realize it could be a long while. But I struggled with myself, but I couldn't let that show with my customers, with my staff. So we have a call at 9 o'clock call into a conference line 9 o'clock every morning. And every week, a couple of our people were really struggling. I mean, depression. They couldn't hardly make themselves do what they were supposed to do by picking up a file. So it was a little bit of, not babysitting, but it was crowd control. So, but now, you know what? I go for more walks, more bicycles, because I just have to get all of that niceness to them and upsetness in me out of me. So that's how I get it out of me. It's just like go outside and do something different.
Good for you. Good job. Okay. All right. So can we go back just a little bit in your career? I mean, how did you get started in this business? I mean, you are very successful for a very long time. How long have you been doing this?
46 years.
Wow. 46 years. And you still prospect.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you make a lot of money. My suspicion is you probably don't need the money, but you may want the money. Am I fair in that?
I want it, but I don't have to have it,
Right.
That'd be
Right.
okay. Yeah.
You're not going to miss too many meals if you miss a closing or two, right?
No, not at all.
No, exactly. So so back at, so how did you choose this career? And then I want to fast forward it to how do you stay in it and stay excited about it and pumped
Yes,
Okay.
I was assistant controller of a corporation and I was never going to have children. I mean, that wasn't in my plan. So, I was pregnant and I decided I didn't want to work those hours, 7 to 5. I didn't want to do that. So I decided I could be a model. Back then I was like, 125 pounds, or I could do real estate because you can do those from home. But anyway, so long story short, so I decided to go into real estate. I got my license like a week before my son was born. I didn't tell my boss, but he allowed me to work 7 a.m. to 1 at my old job. And so afternoons, I would make calls. And really, I was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I didn't hardly know anybody, except a few people at church. So I would call anybody I could think of, at church. I'd call up and down the streets. So I worked, a few hours in the afternoon and one open house on Saturday. And after a year, I was able to, get to an income that was what I was making at the other position. So that's when I was brave enough to be a full-time realtor.
So, if you wouldn't mind sharing, what were you making as a controller at the time?
I think it was like 35, 40,000 in the
Right.
70s. Yep.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. And you replaced that money in the real estate business in what, 12 months,
Yep.
14 months?
12 months. Yep.
Yeah, got it. And then started building your career. Were you
Yep.
instantly successful? Did you like
No.
what was the path there?
You know what? I was afraid of people that listed property because I was my self-esteem for listing properties was low because I would see the people that would list all the properties. So I never really went after listings. And of course I didn't know Mike Ferry then. So I just worked with buyers. I help buyers find houses left and right. And really till about 20 years ago when I started coaching with Mike is when I really did focus on listings. Else I was more
Okay.
the buyer agent, it was just keep it going. They weren't all big sales, but at least I was getting paid.
Right. Right. So I want to know for just a second, you talked about low self-esteem regarding listings and tell me about that because I think there's a few of us that might feel the same way at some times. What was going on in your head?
I think part of that. So I'm raised on a farm with 5 sisters and fairly dominant parents, dominant mom that said, don't speak unless you're spoken to. People don't really want to hear what you say. So it was a kind of a situation where um, don't talk a lot, don't speak up because what you say is not really that important. And so as a buyer agent, you don't have to say much. You set it up, you implement, you organize. I mean, I could do all that. So I think part of it was that in my mind, it was like, I'd have to present, I'd have to speak, I'd have to lead, and maybe people didn't want to hear what I had to say. And I didn't know how to do that.
Right. So as a listing agent, you would have to take the lead. You'd have to take charge. You'd have to have a presentation. And that wasn't comfortable at that point for you, right?
And I didn't really have one except my own, like out of my head, didn't really
And
have
that
one.
and when you discovered Mike or he discovered you, however that worked, you woke up one day and said, maybe I can be a listing agent, or maybe I
You
could
know,
do
I
this.
was I was so excited to know this is what I can say. This is all I have to say. But the bad thing is I joined coaching. It took me like 4 years to decide to join. But because my husband would say, well, that's a lot of money. I said, you know what, here's the deal. We paid for our kids' college. They're through. I didn't go to college. I'm going to spend my money on this and see what happens in a year. So after a year, I was working from 6.5 days down to 4.5 days. I made 20,000 more. I made 20 more deals and made like 80,000 more dollars. And he's like, oh, well, that's probably a good payback. I'm like, yeah. But the thing is, I had all the scripts, I had all the stuff, but it was probably a couple years into coaching before I actually used the scripts. But I had them.
Interesting.
I would probably pick a line here and there. But
Uh-huh.
when I started using the scripts,
Interesting.
I began to get I was getting like 75% of the listings I went on. So now I get like 90 to 102% of them. I
Wow.
just get them, you know.
You just get them. It's part of that's an attitude. Before you switched to start becoming a listing agent, how many buyer transactions were you doing at the time, more or less?
125. When I met Mike, I was doing 125 a year.
So 100 plus deals as a buyer's agent, and you didn't have a lot of help except maybe an assistant at the time?
I just had a part-time assistant doing that. Yeah. That's why I work so many hours.
Wow.
I was
Wow.
the assistant, as Mike would say, right?
You were the assistant. Okay. And then shifted gears, got some listings, and those listings, and that's what started moving you into the 200 range.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Uh-huh.
Got it.
Probably within a couple years. I mean, it happened pretty quickly. Once I started doing the listings, it happened pretty quickly. But that was, you know, it was what to say. It was the mindset. I can do this, and that weekly dealing with my mindset and my words. Words matter, you know.
Right. If you know what to say and how to say it at a really high level, you can do really well, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. And then you wanted to slow down a little bit, but still do the same number of transactions. I don't remember how many deals you were doing at the time. Couple hundred?
Couple hundred, yep.
Yeah.
And really, I learned that I wanted to do the same amount of deals in less time when I'd sit at the Mike Ferry events and people beside me were working less hours and making more than me.
Right.
Like,
right.
I want to learn how to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what you did. That's what we worked on for, I don't know, a year or two, and shifted it around.
Still working on it.
Still working on. Are you still at a 4-day work week?
No, I'm 5.
You're 5 now?
5, yeah. I work weekends, but I'm 5.
Good. Okay. So now we move this forward, and you're doing this 40 something years. And my sense is you're still in the grind, so to speak. Do you still practice?
I have 2 role play partners. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you have a couple of practice sessions every week?
Couple a week. Yep. I have an affirmations partner, a mastermind, you know, just, those are the things that really help me.
Interesting. Good. Got it. And then I keep coming back to, and for 44 years, you're still doing this. Okay. So what do you do on the days you don't really feel like doing this?
Well, when you're selling 200-300 homes a year, I mean, there's always something to do. And so like today, it's been very hard for me to get to making, you know, I've got 6 sellers to call. I've got 10 people from last year. I went on a CMA that I need to call them. I mean, I have about 30, but I need to call 10 today. I need to follow up with stuff, you know, so there's always plenty to do. It's really hard to fit in the 20 new calls a day. So like yesterday was, I got my calls in, and I was calling all the CMAs from last year that, you know, they wanted to wait till spring. They weren't ready. You know, but I didn't throw them away because I knew they would move. So yesterday I got 2 appointments out of those old yesterday stuff. So I'm trudging through that. And, you know, just right now, I'm just like, I'm going to get 1 appointment today, every day. I'm going to get 1, just 1.
That's
it was
great.
Good, but just 1.
Now, yeah, just 1. Absolutely. So my question there is, I'm trying to look, some of us have trouble with 2 leads and 2 listings. Okay. And you're managing, I understand you have a team, but this is all on your head. You know, your transactions, your deals, you're managing your 10 people that you have to talk to, your 6 appointments. So how do you keep that in front of you? Are you kind of old school that way? Have you figured out how to put them in a computer? I mean, I'm sure that's going through everybody's head right now.
Yeah. So basically, you know, you probably remember Mike's thing about
Sure.
Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale, he told that story about this corporation hired him to increase their production. How could they increase their production? And he said they gave him a month. They were going to give him $100,000. And he said, I walk through their plant, and I'm gonna wait for a month because I want the 100,000. So he went back to them and told them, I can't remember, it was every person in that company had to write down 6 things. I think it was 6 things that they had to do today. And within a year, that company's production went up 100%.
Wow.
So, I mean, on my list, it's call my friends because of their anniversary, call the title company, see how they're going to change this or that, call 6 sellers. This, it's just 6. It's pretty simple, and some are personal, some are not. But that keeps my head clear. That's what I need to do.
Can you just showed us the card. That's the card that's your today's activities that you need to accomplish.
The 6 things I need to accomplish by the end of today.
Got it. Can you share a couple of them? 1, 2, 3?
Sure. Call the title company to see what their new procedures are with the COVID shelter at home being removed. Call 10 of my 2019 CMAs, follow up. Prep, I have a new listing that I need to prep tonight and give it to my staff tomorrow. Call 4 sellers, reduce Brighton Circle, and call the Hainers for their anniversary.
And that's your job today.
Yes.
And then tomorrow, so when will you create tomorrow's card?
Tonight.
Tonight. And you'll have 6 things on that.
Yep, and I send the 6 things of today. I mean, I cross them off as I get them done. I send the 6 things of today and my 6 for tomorrow to Maria Hoffman. I take a picture. She sends me to you.
She's your coach, right?
No, affirmations partner.
Oh, okay, got it.
So yeah, it's just accountability partner. So I just send her my scratch off list and my new list for tomorrow. Makes me do it.
Fantastic. Simple. So how long you been doing that?
Off and on. It's interesting how I do it, and it works so great, and then I stop. So right now I've been doing it for about 3 weeks.
Okay. And so you'll go 3 weeks, 3 months on, and then it'll fall off, and then you'll do it again. For how many years have you been doing this off and on?
So probably 10.
Okay. Good for you. Good for you. And that's what kind of keeps your head straight with all the stuff in your world.
Simple. Keeps it simple.
Good for you. Congratulations. Awesome. Very, very
Well,
cool.
The other thing is I mean, I read about this too, and I do believe it. Email and text. I mean, it's addictive. Things are popping up, and it's just so hard not to look. It's just hard not to look. And so I check email and texts 9, 12, 3, and 6. That's it. 9, 12, 3, and 6. That's when I check email, voicemail, text. That's when I check them. And if I haven't, if it's been 2-3 hours for somebody, it doesn't seem to matter. I like to, if the phone's in my hand, I'm going to answer them right away, but it takes away from all this other stuff I need to do. And that has been the hardest thing for my staff to do, is just shut it off in between. It's just so distracting. It is addictive, but I could get addicted too.
Right. So, yeah. So wait a second. When you say 9 o'clock, so you just pick up the phone. So where's the phone when it's not in your hand, checking the email or the text?
Well, it's just upside down on my desk.
It vibrates.
Yeah. You know what? There's always a message. There's always a text. There's always an email. I mean, it just goes on and on forever. And you could just drive yourself crazy.
Yeah. So simple discipline is what you're talking about. It's not a special project. You don't lock it in a safe or anything, or give it to your assistant. Good for you.
I used to, but sometimes I have to use my cell phone. So there's certain customers, if I call them on my landline, they don't answer because they don't recognize it. But
sure.
I'll call them on my cell phone. If they don't answer, then I'll text them. I'm not checking my new ones, but I do use it in between because certain people don't answer my other phones.
Got it. Josie asked if you threw the green card away every day, or do you keep these?
I keep them.
Huh?
I keep them. Mm-hmm.
And you go back to them, or not so much?
No, I keep them for a week because it's kind of old news.
Okay. Got it. You know, we're on Facebook and YouTube. So if anybody's on Facebook or YouTube and you have a question, just post it and we'll pick it up for Lucy. The other question, Lucy, is you referred a couple times to 2019 listing appointments. Are those listing appointments you went out on and didn't get for some reason?
Yes, they didn't say yes. They didn't sign up right then.
Okay. So how often does that happen?
Well, there's probably a stack of 30 or 40 from 2019. And I put them in the database. I put their name and everything in the database. But if I find that if I just keep the CMA, it's easier for me to call them back off the pile rather than just have their name and number and think like, what did I tell them? Where do they live? I don't know those people. You know, I don't remember them because there's so many. There's hundreds. So
How many people? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, Mike would tell me to throw them all away. I know. Or I should just have their name and number somewhere. But you know, if I don't have that file, I can't remember what I talked to them about. So,
Yeah, no, that's a great point. So Lucy, how many people in your database?
8,700.
8,700. Okay. So now I kind of get a picture of why you can't remember who those 30 are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you touch the 3,700, Lucy? Tell us that.
8,700.
I'm sorry, 8,700. Yeah.
Well, you know, for several years, I lied to myself thinking I'm getting to but I would get to them like once a year. Mike says, call them 3 times a year, mail them 3 times a year, you know, all of that. So, or 4 times a year, not 3. So I was not getting to them. So I have I have a person now, and I had somebody before, probably for the last 6 years, all day or 10 to 2 every day, they call past clients. And it's a script, it's Mike's script with just one sentence put in there. Like right now, the script before we say Mike's script is, you know, is everyone healthy in your home? How can I help you? You know, is there anything we can do for your family?
Right.
And we don't bring up real estate, but they always will because they recognize the name. If they don't bring up real estate, a lot of times right now during the pandemic, we don't bring up real estate. We will again when it's done, but otherwise we just go right into Mike's past client sphere script.
Okay. You have people that you want to help, and do they know of anybody that you can help? Correct.
Exactly. Yeah.
Got it. Perfect. Excellent. Very, very, very cool. Let me open it up to a few questions from the team here. Josie wanted to know if I had coached you before.
I think you were my first coach.
I think so too. I think so
yeah.
too.
Yeah. It was a great experience.
It's an amazing experience. You know, the first agents I ever coached, I think I may have been, you might have been my first group. I had 50 agents.
Wow.
I had, 50 agents. You, Deb Sizek, Teresa, just a powerhouse group of great agents like yourself. It was great. And you guys have gone on for years and years and years and years and years. And the thing I keep asking you, Lucy, is about how do you stay in it? How do you still stay in it? How do you stay with the grind? Because I hear from agents all the time, I don't have to grind anymore. Why do I have to grind? Why do I have to do this? And I guess I asked this of Karen Bernardi. A few weeks ago, and she said, only grind if you want to make money. You feel the same way?
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. You know, I've always looked at my calendar Sunday night, and I can see this is a soccer game I need to be at. This is ballet, you know, whatever my kids were doing, my husband, I mean, I could see what I had to do, and most of it's kind of regular stuff. But that was always on my calendar. I mean, I worked around it, but I think I can stay in it because I don't think I missed anything. I don't think I did. If I did, I didn't know I did. So that's probably good.
Yeah, absolutely. Iris Lamb asks, how did you accumulate 8,700 contacts over the years? I mean, was there a particular system you used, or everybody you ever talked to? I mean, how did that work for you?
So if I don't know them, they don't go in there, but everybody that closes, the buyer and the seller side, even if I only have one side, they both go in.
Okay.
Any appointment that I've gone on, I put them in there because Mike says they thought enough of you to call you out there. I've met you. So anybody, any market analysis I've gone on, they get in there. For quite a while, I mean, probably for a couple of years, I had a goal to add 5 people per week because, you know, the dry cleaner person, the teacher, the principal, the policeman, I mean, you know, so many people, and you got to put those people in there. And once in a while I wake up and I think, are they in my database? And sure enough, they're not. I've known these people 30 years. They're not in my database. So I just challenged myself 5 a week, 5 a week, 5 a week, just people I knew that need to get in there.
For you. Good job. Questions for Lucy Ham. Questions for Lucy Ham. If you have a question, please unmute yourself. Questions. Anyone out there? Julian, you had a question. Want to unmute yourself and ask it?
Yeah, it was the one you had asked. Hi, Lucy. This is Julian.
Hello.
You were mentioning that you go on CMAs from last year. Is that, in your definition, is that just a standard listing presentation, or is that a different type of meeting or appointment that you set with people?
It's a standard listing presentation. You know, I do the pre-qual, do the CMA, go see them. They're not ready. They tell me no. They're, you know, they don't like the price, you know, for a lot of different reasons. But it's people that I think that they're going to move. You know, they have like a 3,000 square foot house. They're 80 years old. They're going to move. They're either going to move or die. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Got it.
Thank you.
Perfect. All right, good. Other questions for Lucy? Patricia, Patty, go ahead. You
Yeah,
had one?
I have a question. Hi, Lucy. Thanks for coming.
welcome.
My question is, with all the people you have in your database, do you have a program that you use, like Constant Contact or some other program to automatically do something to them?
We use Wise Agent as for our contact database. Wise Agent. It's like
okay.
$24.95 a month, you know, online. It's very easy. It's very easy and simple. It does a lot more stuff than we use it for, really.
Okay,
good.
thank you.
Yeah.
Good. Meg asked what your daily schedule kind of looks like. You want to talk about, you know, what you how you start your day, etc.
Yes.
Hey, Meg.
Oh, hi, Meg. Hello. So I try to be at the office by 8. I try to be making calls by 8 o'clock. So I get up at 6:30. Try to leave the house at 7:30. Gets a few admin out of the way, but try to make calls by 8 o'clock. I try to get my 20 calls in by 10, because then I can do whatever else. At 10 o'clock, I listen to voicemail, email, just the mundane stuff. And then probably make some more calls, some lead follow-up calls, or things that have happened. I take a half hour for lunch, and then after lunch, I either do more lead follow-up calls, or other, you know, just other calls that are easy to make that I haven't got made. But 1 o'clock on is appointments. I try to have all my appointments done by 6. Occasionally, I'll do an evening appointment. When the kids were little, I would do, or when I didn't have quite this much business, I should say, I would reserve 2 evenings a week. My family knew that. They were fine with that. Now I hardly ever have any evening appointments, but I guess I don't know. I don't know why that changed, but it's good. It's better.
Yeah.
And I don't work on the weekend, so that's nice.
Good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Meg. Good question.
Thank you.
All right. Other questions for Lucy Ham?
Who's covering during the weekends and how do you handle that?
It's mostly buyer agent stuff, you know, so I look at the email and I forward all the buyers to the buyer agent. They just put themselves on a calendar who gets what calls what day.
Mhm.
So, and then the listing manager, closing manager, they check their voicemail on the weekend. So I don't really get that many calls on the weekend. We just forward leads, the internet leads. And the buyer agents actually forward the phone call leads that come in. You know, if it's a listing lead, they would forward it, but they call the main line every 3 hours on the weekend and just forward whatever to whoever's call it should go to.
Oh, good.
Somehow they're willing to do that. It's really not that many calls, I don't think.
I've got a question. So
Go ahead,
Lucy,
Nancy.
with that many listings and you don't work weekends and it doesn't sound like you're buyer's agents or you have somebody holding open house, how do you explain that to the seller? Because typically around here, I will do one, say the first weekend, and if needed, maybe a couple more, but I try not to. And I've never done them on Sundays. But how do you handle that with your sellers?
So I don't tell them I don't work weekends. I mean, I just present us as a team. You know, we're available. We are. I don't tell them I don't work weekends. We don't really have open houses because we use Mike's National Association of Realtors chart. That 1% of homes are sold by open house.
Right.
And you want everybody in your home looking at your nice things on TV and check it out for later. You know, I scare them
Thank
into
you.
that because I don't really want people in my house just wandering around, you know?
Right.
So we don't tell them we don't do open houses, but I do tell them the last 12 open houses I did, 0 to 2 people came
Mhm.
and they were neighbors and they're like, oh yeah, we've done that too. We don't want to do that.
Great. Thank you.
Interesting. You know, Lucy, I'm sitting here and we're listening to you, and I'm hearing what you're saying, and I'm just curious. But and I don't want this to sound strange, but how you're a very special woman. A goal of 30 transactions every month is very special. Okay, so how can you do what you do, and some others don't or can't? Do you have do you have an idea?
Well, I mean, the fact that I have a coach is, I mean, that's the only reason I can still do that. I was actually, when I joined coaching 20 years ago, I was going to quit real estate. I mean, it was too heavy. It was emotionally heavy. I mean, it was just like, this is too much. So how do I do that? You know, I think developing the team has helped, and the team they all feed into each other. I mean, there's a lot of systems in place, and we call each other out on it. You know, if somebody isn't doing the system, the next person has to take care of the dirty diaper, you know? So everybody has a checklist for what they do, and they're not complicated. Actually, I had to make their own checklist. So you're processing a purchase agreement, write down everything you do. And so that became a checklist. You know, you're just, you know, the front desk people, what do you do in the morning when you come in? You unlock the door, you turn the heat up, you know, make sure there's coffee. They make their own checklist, and we go over and we change them all the time. And then, you know, every 3 months we go over, you know, what do you like to do on your job description and what don't you like to do? And the stuff they don't like to do, I know if they don't like to do it, it's probably not getting done. So we could give it to somebody else, you know, just continually go over their job description. And, you know, I don't know. It's the daily make 20 calls daily.
It's the day. That's what makes it. It's the 6 items on your list, and make sure you do the 20 calls. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, really. Yep.
Yeah.
If I did that,
Yeah.
I'd be like making 2-3 million. Yeah.
Wow,
I would.
fantastic. So, what thought would you leave us with? Here we are. We're for the most part, everybody's kind of moving toward post-COVID. Hopefully, because of the demonstrations or the protests, etc. We have we're nobody's 6 feet apart. So I hope people don't get sick again. But assuming that doesn't happen, hopefully it doesn't, and everybody comes out healthy and okay. Give us a couple of post-COVID Lucy tips here.
Well, something that I, you know, something that I know I have to do, and it's really difficult, is like, you know, when whoever I talk to on the phone, whether I'm in person or COVID, you know, you have to have the smile. You have to brighten their day, and you know, the people that you need to keep around you in your life, they need to be inspiring. They need to be, you know, they need to be good people. If you have good people around you, you'll enjoy your life. But also, you have to be that person. You have to be inspiring. You have to be well read. I mean, so that people want to be around you. So, you know, I think that every single person, whether you're the boss or not the boss, because we're not the boss in every situation. You need to be the light in the room. You know, you need to be the person that brings that encouragement or that happiness to them, even by saying, you know, you have a beautiful smile, you have a gorgeous daughter. You know, what is it you can do to make that day better for them? And, you know, I pray a lot. I pray in the morning, I pray at night. I mean, I do. That, you know, God's my higher power. And I know that nothing's going to happen to me that's not going to happen to me. And, you know, I don't take that lightly. You know, I go to the doctor, I do all that stuff, but you know what? I'm not going to live a day longer than I'm supposed to. I'm not in charge of that. I'm in charge of just doing the best I can do with every situation. So,
Wow. That's a great thought. That is an awesome thought. Everyone, please unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Let's give Lucy a giant hand and thank her for her time, her effort, her energy, and all the. Lucy, in life, you're either an inspiration or a warning, and you're an amazing inspiration. We appreciate you so much.
thank you. My pleasure.
Thank
Great
you.
to see your faces. I hope to see
Yeah.
you again soon.
We will, absolutely.
Come
You
too.
bet. Thank you so much. Good stuff.
Be
Okay.
well.
I'm gonna exit now.
Thanks, Lucy. Fantastic. So my question now is, what did we learn from Lucy Ham today? 44, 46 years in the business. You want to, can we mute everybody, Robert, please?
There you go. Now you have to
All
mute.
right. Okay. Got it. Thank you. Okay. So what did we learn today?
Josie,
Please, Josie, go.
I love that she turns her phone around and only checks it 9, 12, 3, and 6. That's a great tip.
That's a fabulous tip. Good job. Okay. What else did we learn today? What else? Go ahead, Meg, please. Meg, please unmute yourself. Thank you.
Okay. I love the 6 things to do each day on that green card. That was,
I like the green
Very-
card.
yeah.
I think the green card's got the magic. Okay. The 6 things are, oh, that's an afterthought, but I think it's about the green card. She wasn't telling it all. I think that's a magic carpet card.
Well, it's a recipe card and I don't use them anymore. So I'm putting my goals on them.
Ah, okay. Good job. Okay. What else did we learn today? What else did we learn today? Got it.
Okay, I got one.
Go ahead.
She
please.
wakes up in the middle of the night thinking she's known these people for 30 years. Are they on her database?
Yes. You
Good
got
one.
any of those, Josie?
Yes.
Exactly. Good stuff. Okay. I have the same thing. That's at 3 o'clock in the morning, right, Lucy? Got it. All right. Other things what did we learn today? Meg, you have another one?
Yeah, I like that the staff is writing their own checklists. I mean, they know what they do every day. So why not just write it out? And that's where you can actually work with it and what they like to do and what they don't like to do, and see if you can delegate the things that they don't like to do or encourage them more.
Got it.
I like
Exactly.
that. That's
Very, very cool.
productive. Mhm.
Miriam made a comment, words matter. Absolutely. Words do matter. Okay, good. What else do we have? What else did we learn today?
I
One
know.
basic goal every day, get an appointment.
That's it.
That's it.
That'll
Basic.
cure everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever's wrong in your life will be cured by one listing appointment per work day. Woo, I like that. Good. Okay, that's very good. What else do we have? What else do we learn here today?
Old listings is another lead source.
Old listings. Good. Absolutely. Good stuff. Great thought. All right, what else?
Neil, I like that she rewards the team after they hit their goal. You get a reward, kind of like your point system where you offered a reward for everyone.
Uh-huh.
It makes it more fun.
Yeah, it has a little bit of fun. Yeah, it's not the amount of money, it's the fun. I think that was the message there. Absolutely. Okay. Give me one more win, one more thing that we learned.
You have to be encouraging and people have to want to be around you.
I think that's a great thought. That's an absolutely fantastic thought. I'm always asked, what did I learn? And what I was reminded today, if I might, is that how special people like Lucy are to us. When I got into this business, I didn't have Lucy Ham or Karen Bernardi or Neil Weichel, or Lucy probably didn't have those people either. I mean, we weren't, we didn't have those. And a lot of what we did is on blind faith. And the neat part today, and it's because of people like Lucy, that we can look at and say, wow, I can do that. I can aspire to that. I may not hit those numbers or be able to do those things, but I can do that. If I follow this system, I can do that. And when Lucy and I got in the business, it was blind faith. There wasn't this system. This is the beauty and the reminder of what we have today. Do not lose sight of that in anything we're doing, especially as we go into the new post-COVID. The virtual real estate selling system that's come out of this for us as an organization, where we're able to focus in on it, this stuff works. Reminder, you guys did in the last 45 days 184 transactions. In quarantine, Lucy, in quarantine, they did 184 transactions. It's because of this versatile selling system. Adapt it. Take it to you, hug it, nurture it, grow it, and then watch what happens. All right, everybody. I want to thanks Lucy again. Unmute yourself. Give her a big giant hand. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Very much appreciated. Great job. Okay, so Robert, thank you, Lucy.
Yeah.
Robert, we have what's on our agenda next?
Well, so the 1 o'clock class has been moved to 3:30 because Neil and I have a corporate meeting that we're doing here shortly. So we're not going to do a 1 o'clock class. That's going to be moved to 3:30. So at 3:30, we're not doing Diane's class today. We are going to try to finish off the Mike Ferry 21